Everything you thought you knew about Maxton Hall is about to be shaken apart. Season 3 isn't just another chapter, it's the moment that flips every relationship. It's every secret and every character on their head. And the craziest part? The trailer only showed a small piece of what's coming. What happens next will change the entire story forever. Season 2 ended in a storm that no one was ready for. Ruby and James, once so close, now stand on opposite sides of a painful truth. Ruby finally understood how deeply James's family problems cut into his life, but she also saw the heavy wall he built to keep her out. Their last moments together didn't feel like a goodbye, yet they also didn't feel like a beginning. It was a space filled with doubt, fear, and words they were too scared to say. Ruby walked away with her heart shaking, trying to stay strong, while James stood behind, carrying the weight of guilt he didn't know how to face. At the same time, the drama inside the Beaumont family exploded. James watched everything he tried to hold together start to fall apart. The pressure from his father, the constant expectations, and the suffocating world he grew up in left him torn between who he wants to be and who he is forced to be. Every choice he made in Season 2 came with consequences he never asked for, and those consequences are ready to hit even harder in Season 3. Ruby also felt her world shifting. She stepped into a place where she does not fully belong, where every step forward brings new challenges. The scholarship, the high expectations, and the pressure to always be perfect are slowly draining her. She's trying to prove she deserves the chance she's been given, even as her heart pulls her toward a love that feels more dangerous than safe. Season 2 closed with questions hanging in the air. Can James break free from his family's grip? Can Ruby stay strong without losing herself? And most importantly, can their love survive the storm that keeps pulling them apart? Season 3 begins exactly where this tension left us, on the edge of everything changing. Season 3 steps into the story like a quiet storm, slow at first, almost gentle, but carrying a power strong enough to shift every character's life. This season isn't just about what happens next. It's about how everything the characters believe about themselves begins to crack. The world of Maxton Hall has always been beautiful on the outside, but Season 3 pulls the curtain back and shows the price that beauty demands. And this time, no one escapes its impact. Not Ruby, not James, not even the ones who pretend they're untouchable. The biggest change comes from the characters themselves. Season 3 forces them to face their fears instead of running from them. Ruby steps into a version of herself she never imagined. She has always fought for her place, but now she must fight for her heart, her future, and the truth she's always tried to protect. Her world becomes bigger, louder, and more complicated, and every step she takes makes her question whether love can survive when life keeps getting in the way. James, on the other hand, begins to feel the cost of every choice he made in the past. The boy who once used arrogance as armor now faces situations where pride can't save him. His family's influence presses on him harder than ever. And every path he tries to take leads him back to the same painful truth. He can't fully be the person he wants until he lets go of the person everyone else expects. Season 3 pushes James into a place where he must decide if he'll stay trapped in the life he was born into, or break free and risk everything. But the story doesn't only change for them. Maxton Hall itself becomes a battlefield of secrets, ambition, and hidden motives. People who once stayed quiet now speak. Characters who were once in the background move into the spotlight. New alliances form, and old ones fall apart. Season 3 makes it clear that every choice, no matter how small, has a consequence waiting just around the corner. This isn't just a continuation. It's a reset, a reshaping. A new version of Maxton Hall, where nothing is as simple as it once seemed. Season 3 doesn't just move the story forward, it transforms it. Ruby's journey in Season 3 is not just growth, it's a full awakening. She enters this season carrying the weight of everything she has lost and everything she still hopes to become. But something inside her shifts. The shy, careful girl who once tried to blend into the shadows of Maxton Hall begins to understand that she can no longer
survive by staying silent.
Season 3 pushes her into the light, and suddenly everyone sees her strength, her drive, and the quiet fire she's been protecting all along. But stepping forward comes with a cost. Ruby faces a world where every mistake feels bigger. Every success brings new pressure, and every emotion threatens to break her focus. She's torn between wanting a future she's worked so hard for and the love she can't seem to let go of, no matter how painful it becomes. The scholarship, the competition, the endless expectations, all of it pulls her in one direction. And then there's James, a person who pulls her heart in the opposite one. Her confidence grows, but so do her doubts. She begins to question who she is when no one is watching. She wonders if she can still be the girl who dreams big, while also being the girl who has loved so deeply it left a mark on her. Season 3 puts Ruby in situations where she must choose what matters most, staying true to her goals or fighting for someone who keeps slipping out of reach. Yet, Ruby's journey isn't only about struggle, it's also about discovery. She starts finding her voice in places she once felt invisible. She becomes bolder in classrooms, stronger around people who used to intimidate her, and more fearless when speaking her mind. Every challenge she faces turns into a moment that shapes her into someone she didn't realize she could be. Season 3 is Ruby's turning point. The moment she stops surviving and starts defining her own life. And as she grows, one question becomes impossible to ignore. Can she rise to her full potential without losing the love that changed her whole world? James enters Season 3 like someone standing at the edge of a cliff, one wrong step, and everything he knows could collapse. For the first time, the confident, charming boy who once controlled every room he walked into begins to feel powerless. The world he grew up in, polished and perfect on the outside, now feels like a cage closing around him. Season 3 forces James to confront the truth he has been running from. He can't escape his family, his past, or the choices he made unless he's ready to break everything open. His struggles aren't loud or dramatic at first. They're silent, personal, and painful. The guilt of hurting Ruby follows him everywhere. He tries to focus, tries to move forward, but every memory of her becomes a reminder of how easily he can lose the one person who truly saw him. And that's where his transformation begins. James starts realizing that strength isn't about power or control. It's about vulnerability, about admitting where he went wrong, about fighting for something real, even when the cost is high. But the pressure around him keeps rising. His father tightens his grip, expecting James to follow the same cold path he once walked. The family name becomes both a weapon and a burden, shaping every part of James's life. He feels the weight of expectations crushing him at school, at home, and inside the future that has already been planned for him. Season 3 shows James trying to breathe in a world that doesn't give him space to be himself. Every decision makes this season is heavier than the last. He is pulled between loyalty to his family and the life he actually wants. Between protecting Ruby and staying close to her. Between being the perfect Beaumont and being James, the real James, who is tired of pretending everything is fine. James's transformation in Season 3 is not a smooth path. It's messy, emotional, and sometimes heartbreaking. But it is also powerful. It's the season where he begins to understand what love truly means, what freedom actually costs, and who he is when everything else is stripped away, and as he changes. One fear keeps echoing in his mind. If he becomes the man he wants to be, will Ruby still be there when he finally reaches her? Season 3 turns Ruby and James's relationship into a battlefield where love is not the only thing fighting fear. Doubt, silence, and old wounds fight too. Their story no longer feels like a sweet school romance. It feels like two hearts trying to stay afloat in a storm that keeps getting stronger. Every time they move closer, something pulls them apart. Every time they try to speak, the truth becomes harder to say. It's not just about feelings now, it's about survival, trust, and the courage to stay when everything hurts. For Ruby, loving James has always felt like stepping into the unknown. She knows he cares deeply, but she also knows he carries shadows she can't reach. Every time he shuts down, a part of her wonders if she is walking into a love that could break her. She tries to stay strong, tries to focus on her dreams, but the connection she has with James refuses to fade. Yet she fears that loving him may cost her more than she can afford to give. James feels the same pull, but from the opposite side. His heart reaches for Ruby in every quiet moment, but the fear of hurting her again pushes him back. He wants to protect her, but in doing so, he risks losing her. She is the only thing in his world that feels real, yet he thinks he must let her go to keep her safe from his family's influence. Season 3 exposes their biggest weakness. They love each other, but neither knows how to hold on without losing themselves. Misunderstandings grow. Secrets surface. Jealousy sparks in places no one expected. And the world around them, friends, rivals, family adds,